Alright, so let's get started, and we're going to start building the album for the Lucky Star Mini Album. I'm not quite sure where I want to go with the next pages for this, so I figured I'd make the book and start to get going on it, and then we'll just go from there. So anyway, you need to cut out 2 pieces of chipboard that are 9 by 9, and 1 piece that is 3 by 9, and that is our spine. I've already wrapped one of them, and I've added score tape to the complete backs. This is an album I've made a few times already, and this is an album design part that Tamara from Country Craft Creations did, and I really like how to cover the albums like this now, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then those 2 tools are also from her. I have other videos on those. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to move along kind of quick because I do have some of my larger albums. I've done this the exact same way on all of those, so, but it's pretty simple. If you can get the tape off. But I think it makes the albums a little cleaner, and I kind of like that, so that's what we're going to do. And I am going with a 3-inch spine, and that's because I don't know how chunky I want to make the book, and I'd rather have it a little thicker than too thin, and then you have alligator mouth. So I'm just pressing the tape down. And I'm going to trim it off. So these things here are 1 inch in width. So I'm going to continue that 1 inch. And I'm going to trim off 1 inch. I changed my blade so it's like one nice sweep and it cuts it. Like that, easy. And now I'm just gonna add score tape all around my edges. And I'm excited to see how this album comes out because I really love that Lucky Star paper. It's so pretty. So. And I want full tape coverage, so I'm going to go in with 1/4 inch and finish that off. I don't know if you can hear that banging. We have a big snowstorm right now, and it's extremely windy. Parts of the state have 50-mile-an-hour winds, if not more. So I don't know what is banging outside, but something is hitting my house. So if you hear the banging, nothing I can do about it. And I bet if I go like super quiet, you probably will hear the wind too. It is freezing. And I got my craft room toasty enough right now so I can turn off my extra heater. So you just want to go ahead, and I like to fold on all of the sides. And then we can just start wrapping it. And this side. So Crealies started something new. They are doing kind of like a month recap where they'll show you all the projects that all the designers and guest designers and stuff created that month, which is kind of neat because if you happen to miss a day and you don't see a project that got posted that you might really like to see, they're going to recap it in a small little like video, and then if you see something you like, you can just go back and look for the video. So it's kind of fun because we all know how busy we get, so sometimes we're not always on social media. So it's kind of neat to see. All right, and I'm smushing down my corners so I can wrap it over. And pressing those down. All right, so these two are done. So now we're going to work on the spine somewhere. Oh, I already taped it. Right here, so the 3x9, and we're going to work on that piece. All right, so now we're going to work on the spine, but I just want to show you, like, look how crazy. That's a live video from my cameras. Look how crazy that is. It's like really blowing around out there, like super crazy. I had to look and see because it was like knocking back there, and I didn't know what was knocking. Sounds like somebody's knocking on my door. All right, so we need to cut this out, and actually I need to cut it out 8 inches wide because I want to do 2.5 inches on each side for my wrap. So let me cut that real quick. Okay, so we can go ahead and do this part here. So because I'm doing 2.5 inches, I'm just going to do a simple score line down my 2.5 inch mark. That way I can line it up. I'm using my spacer up here. And take the tape off. All right, and making sure everything's nice and tight and up, and I'm going to follow that score line right down. Oops. Try to follow it down. Just like that. And then I just need to cut the bottom. To make that 1/2 inch. All right, 1 inch off the bottom on this one. Okay. And again, just like before, I'm just going to crease everything before I add my tape. That's where the score line is. All right, so first things first is, let's go ahead and fold this down. So I'm holding that down and just working those that direction. Now I did realize in my other video when I did this, I didn't quite do this right. It still gets the same effect, but it wasn't quite the same. So let's go ahead and do it the right way this time. So I'm going to add some tape at the top. And it was still the right, I mean, it wasn't a wrong way the way I did it. It's just added extra bulk, and I didn't like the bulk. So we're going to eliminate that. So I'm going to fold this over because I want to see where my fold lines there are. Probably should have done it before I put the tape on. All right, so I'm going to need some scissors. And I'm just going to cut down. So I'm making a slice mark, and I'm kind of going to, like when I cut it down, I'm kind of doing it where it's not like on the inside of the chipboard. I want to do it on the outside because I want to make sure that my chipboard's not going to show. Okay, doing that. And I'm going to take this off and smush that down. And if you do have a little overhang of cardstock, just go ahead and crease it up against the side. And I did have enough score tape, so any score tape that is on it will just go ahead and adhere it. So again, and there we go. Alright, so now I have that. Now what you want to do is, because we will put our albums on, we want to kind of get some of the paper folded over. So I'm just kind of going up and pushing down. And if you want to, actually give it some good creasing. Just like that. All right, so then you can see I kind of, right there, you can kind of see it. So now I need to trim up these pages. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to angle this, just like that. And the same thing on this side. Yeah. And this one, just like that. Alright, so you can see where it's kind of a step down, and then you're going to take your covers are just going to get added just like that. So now I'm going to go ahead and add some tape to them. Now when I add my tape, I'll show you. I don't want to come all the way up to this edge. I'm going to leave about a 1/16, an eighth of an inch rather. So as you can see, I'm leaving a little bit of space in here. And then what I'm going to do is when I put my tape on here, like this, and I'll do this to both pieces. I'm coming up almost right to the edge of the cardstock. So then that way I have the tape here, and when I put it here, anything that's not quite all the way up will just get attached like that. All right, so I'm going to add my tape, and I'll be back, and we'll put it together. All right, I have all of my tape on. So now we're going to go ahead and attach our covers. So this is my spine piece right here. And I went ahead again, as you know, and I creased the sides down. So now we can go ahead and add our cover. Now on here, I will end up cutting off because I'll have a little bit of the tape overhanging. So I'll go in with my craft knife and just trim that up. And that'll be easy to do. So now I'm going to go ahead and put it all the way up against my spine. Just like that. See, I have my tape overhanging there. So I just go in and cut it off very lightly, just like that. And the other side, same thing. And go. Just like that. And trim this off. And if you don't put tape all the way up on it, you don't have to worry about it having to cut off this little excess, but as you can see, it comes off pretty easy. I just do a light little cut. I have a nice sharp blade, so it makes it easier. And there we go. So as you can see, the book folds up really nice. Isn't that cool? All right, so now we're going to move on. Let's cover this over first because my spine, I mean, it might be okay. I'll go ahead and make the binding system, and then we'll see if we need to cover any of that. All right, so we're going to go ahead and create the binding pages, to hold the binding pages rather. So this is what my binding is. So I'm cut a piece of paper at 8 1/4 by 9 1/2, and these all right here are where your score marks are going to be. So if you need to, go ahead and pause the video and write them down, or go ahead and score. So anyway, it goes in with the 9 1/2 inch across the top, and then all of my score marks going right across the paper. So I've already done that, as well as I've already taken and folded it. So what I like to do is fold it, crease it, go all the way down, flip it over, and then I work it backwards. So now we're going to go ahead and add some tape. So this is pretty easy to figure out on this one. So I'm going to put tape between my first score lines. So that is on the first one right there. And then it's easy to figure them out, turn it over, and do it on this one here. And then all I got to do is do one more on my center spine. So if you're not sure which one it is, if you fold it in half, the paper's in half, you're going to go, so right here is literally the center, and you're going to put one piece on just one side of the center. And that's how I'm doing this one for 3 pages. And then it's simple. Just remove the tape, fold it over and back, and then let's do it this way. And then this one here, fold it over like that. So now you have this, and then the only thing left to do is to create the center one. So take the tape off, fold it down, and just like that, I have my 3 hinges ready to go. All right, and then what I like to do on this, because of adding my pages, what I do is I will take them now, and I want to go down a 1/2 inch from the edge of this back. So if I just do this, and I use my cutting mat here, and I just go down a 1/2 inch. So I'm going from a 1/2 inch from the top of my binding seam here down, or I can go up a 1/4 inch from the spot. So if you open it up, you can kind of see my mark right here, and that's on the little flappy do. And this back side here will get covered in tape, and that's how it goes down. So I'm just going to keep going and mark them at a 1/2 inch. And I'm going to do that on all of them, and I do it on each side. And I will mark all those out, and then what I'm going to do is, so this one here, I already have my little pencil marks. You can see those. I'm just going to take some score tape, 3/8 and I'm going to apply it. All the way at the top. So I'm going to do that on all of them, and then I'll be back. Alright, so I went ahead and I have tape on all of those bindings. Now what I want to do is just angle the corners. So I'm not angling all the way down to my 1/4 inch or my 1/2 inch mark down. I'm angling from the tape only. So the tape is 3/8 of an inch. So you can see, let's see, there's my pencil mark, and you can see I angled from the tape. So do all those. And then that way, just in case your pages are shorter than your binding system, you won't have that little piece hanging over. So now I want to go ahead and add tape to the back of my binding. So I have that down. Where's my needle? Trim that off. Even that up. You don't want any tape overhang because you will see it if you forget to tuck it in. That one. Alright, and then just a smaller piece. And I don't want to go all the way to the end with too much smaller, so I'm using a wider piece, this part, and then I'll fill in this section with a smaller piece. Just that way I have a little more tape coverage on the side. Alright. And then just make sure, go in and make sure the tape is good and stuck to the cardstock. And now we get our book. And we can attach that down. So I want to put that right in here. So I want to find my center. So seeing how I already know it's 3 inches, my center will be 1.5. Right up here. And this is 8 1/4, and I have 9, so 3/8 up. So 1, 2, 3. Let me just make sure. Yep. So 3/8 inch from the edge down and 3/8 up. That way you know that when you put this down, you're centered. And then my center dots that I made here, I'm making sure it lines up with the center binding. So I'll give it a test run. If I'm happy with it, I'll go ahead and stick it down. All right, make sure any tape that might be sticking over, just go ahead and push it down. And I'm going to line it up again. And I just held down on the center one just to push it down good. And then all I'm going to do now is just burnish it to get it nice and stuck. So over here I want to lift this one up, and then I'm going to just push in. So it gets a nice crease in there. So as you can see, this one here is not down because I haven't gone in on that one. So let me turn it around and do the same thing. I'm going to lift up on the cover and then tuck it in. And then I'm just going to keep working at it so I break up those fibers a little bit so that way it won't crack. Like that. And then these ones here, same thing, just kind of moving back and forth so they will fold nicely. Alright, so now the only other thing I do want to do is want to cut out some black cardstock to cover these sections here, because because these pages here are a little smaller. Yeah, they're a little smaller, and I want it to look nice and clean, so you can see a lot of overlapping here. I did have an idea when I was doing it, like when we wrapped this piece, to not wrap the top and the bottom, and then after I put all this on, I could bring this up, I was thinking, and then it would hide all this extra stuff here. So I'll probably try that on another album. In the meantime, I'm going to cut out some cardstock and cover those two pieces there. Okay, so I went ahead and cut out a piece of cardstock 8 3/4 by 8 3/4 and stuck it on. And then I have my last piece to put on. I'll put it on with you. So I went ahead and added my tape, and then I loosened up all the tape so it's easy to pull. So I'm going to go ahead and set this on right where I want it. And I'm going to hold it down and remove the first piece. That way I get it where I want it. And then I'm just going to remove all the rest of the tape. Let's see. Try not to pull up too much on it because you don't want to get a crease like I just did there. And then just lock it down. Oh good, I didn't crease it. Hate that when it happens. So I have all that nice and neat now. So now it looks all cleaned up. Alright, now we'll start putting some of it together. So now we're going to go ahead and attach the front and back inside cover. So I have already gone ahead and attached one because I wanted to test it out. So what it does now is it will flip this way, and then the pocket opens up here, and then you have a pocket here, and then magnetic closure. So, and then this folds over like that. So what I have right now is the pieces that are going to go on this side here. So as you know, when we created this page, we made them mirror image because of opening them up. So what you want to do is take this out, and we'll take that out. So the first thing you need to do is cut a strip of paper that is 1 1/4 by 8 1/4, and you're going to score it at 1/2 inch. So this is not going to score even. So one side is 1/2 inch and one side is 3/4. All right, so I'm just going to fold it to get it creased and just burnish it down. And I'm folding it both ways because it is kind of going to be like a hinged swing, so I want to break those fibers up both ways. And I'm going to add some tape on this side. And I'm going to add tape to both sides of the 1/2 inch side. So we're adding tape to the smaller side. All right, and then we just want to angle those down, just in case it's longer than our page. So now I'm going to go ahead and take a look at it and make sure I understand the way it has to swing. So my hinge needs to be, I want it to go this way, so my hinge has to be on this side. So I'm going to take these two apart. So again, hinge on this side. And I'm going to just take this and flip it over. So again, working on that side. And you know what, actually I'm going to flip it this way because it's easier for me to see it. So I'm going to remove the tape from one side. And I'm going to set it on. And I'm going right up to the score line, but not past it because I need that to be able to move. So now I have that on there. And again, so just make sure you're paying attention. I'm swinging this way. So I need tape on this side now. And I don't have to trim this down on this part here because it's going on the bottom. And we'll cover that over anyway, so I don't have to worry about anything sticking out. Plus it's on my cover. So what I want to do is go ahead and set this piece down. And I'm going to make sure I am centered to the space, that I am also lined up to the binding system here to this page because this is 8 1/4 and so is page obviously. So I want to make sure I'm lined up top and bottom, making sure also I'm over far enough on the side here, and I'm making sure it's the same on the other side. So I'm just going to hold it down, lift it up so I can get my tape off. And press it in place. So that's good. And now I need to attach my page to the top here. So this is this piece. So I'm going to add some tape to here. And I'm adding 1/8 inch tape because I'm also adding glue. But I just want to use the tape to keep it all down first. So, I mean, keep it down while I wait for my glue to dry. And I'm clearly ready for bed because I can no longer word. So I'm putting just a little strip of 1/8 inch tape down, and you can see it goes all the way to the cut edge as close as I can get it. All right, and then I just want to make sure I don't have any tape sticking out. So if you have any tape, just trim off the tape. Okay. So now this is the way my pocket's going to go. So again, the way I like to attach my stuff is I'm lining it up. And making sure I'm lined up at the bottom. And I look good there, so I'm just going to hold it down and lift the tape off that little hinge we made. Okay, that's pressed down. So now we have to attach our pocket. So let's see what's the best angle. Oops. So you can see right there, I guess. So what I want to do now is I'm going to remove this tape and this side. Don't let them touch yet. And I'm going to take some glue and I'm literally running it up the edge of that tape. And don't go too crazy with too much glue, because that'll shorten your pocket, or made it not as wide rather. I won't shorten it, but you'd have to shorten your photo mat. So I got a little crooked, but you can see that like that. And then now I can just stick it down. And I glue that. All right. So we turn it around now. And so now it's attached. So there we go, front, inside, back cover. And then over here, we have a little pocket. I'll wait till the glue is good and dry, but this one might be okay. So I'm not gonna do it too much, but just in case your pocket is too tight, I like to go and put a ruler in and just kind of press it up against the side, just kind of getting that up a little bit so your photo mats will slide in nice. So I don't want to do too much because this one I just did it too. So, and then that's like that. So far, that's where we are. And I'm thinking about, like, this would be room for photos here, but I'm thinking I might want to put another page over the top of that. So not this, but pretend like this, and then we'll have a page and then it opens up like this, because I don't want anything to catch on this. So depending on what my first page would be, like if these two are together, this will catch on this all the time and then it'll end up wrecking it. So what I think I'm going to do is create another page to flip over the top of that. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So I made another little kind of page pocket here, or page flap rather, and it's going to sit over the top of this. That way this will just be solid with some either pattern paper or like photo mats that are actually attached to the page. And then this part, if you wanted to do something fancy, you might be able to, because I think the back side will be this, so it shouldn't catch on anything. So to go ahead and make this flap, you need a piece of paper that is 9 by 8 1/4, and we need to make some score marks. This is in the way already. So you want to put this in with the 9 across the top. You're going to score at 1/2 inch because that's your binding, and then you're going to score at a 3/4. So you're creating a 1/4 inch between the two. And we're just going to fold on those, again, folding it both directions. And then this one. And I'm going to go ahead and add tape to one side. And I'm going to take my book. So what I want to do now is I want to attach this. So I added the tape right to the cut edge, leaving that 1/4 inch room because we need to make up for the thickness of our theater card over here. So we want to go ahead and stick that on here. So I want to make sure that I am lining it up. So obviously 8 1/4, and if I line it up right up here, I'll know I'll be squared off. So what I want to do is I'm going to fold it like this so you can see the 1/4, and I'm lining it all the way up to the edge so I know I'm even. So if I did, it's not going to touch, so because that still moves. And I'm making sure I'm squared off here and that this page is lined up to the 8 1/4 here. So I'm going to take off my tape. Stick that down. And there we go. So that closes that way, and then I have that. And then it'll keep it all nice and tidy. And then we open. There. So now let's see. I wanted to add some more pages because I feel like I don't have room for photos anywhere because I just have pockets, so I want the pockets to be extra. So I think I want to add some more pages like this on here, and then we can attach this to those. So all right, I know what I'm doing. So now we're going to go ahead and I cut a piece of paper that is 8 1/4 by 8 3/4, and I scored at 1/2 inch because this part here, this little flap, is going to be how we're going to attach these pages, and then these will go right on top like that. All right, so let me show you what we're going to do. So we're going to take our first one and I'm going to stick it down. Now we're sticking it in those marks where we made our little mark down our binding pocket. And hopefully you made your pencil marks on your binding exactly where you need to go so they fit. All right, and I need to add some tape to this side. So now this is the little flap that we have. I probably should have put the tape on first. Definitely should have put the tape on first. And then I just want to angle a little. Okay, so I have that on. Probably should put tape there, but we'll do that after. So this one here, I want to put, let's see. I think I want to go with this one. So I'm going to put that one right on top. Yeah, definitely need to do this before. All right, so now this page here, this goes like this, and then you have this part. All right, I'm just trying to see here what I want to do. And so then this one would go here. And then you have room for photos. And then this needs tape, or this one needs tape. I'll put tape on this page instead. All right, trying to figure it out. Just bear with me. I don't have a sample to do, so I'm just kind of figuring it out here. All right, so I need to put tape on this. And then we'll walk it again through. I'll do the other page so then that way you can really see what it is I'm trying to do. All right, I'm going to just lift these ones up a bit so they come off easy. All right, so I'm going to hold this down, and now I'm attaching it to this flat page here, and I'm attaching it to my binding, so hopefully and then let's take this one off. Now, if you wanted to, you could not attach either the top or the side and make another pocket. But I kind of feel like this book has got a lot of pockets, so we need some pages for photos. All right, so then that opens up, and we have that in the pocket. So let's see. And I feel like I don't want anything to get caught on this, so we might add some extra pages. So that's like that. All right, so let's do that. I'm going to cut out some stuff. All right, so this is going to be my pocket for the next page. So this is the page on the back, or the page that's going to go here. But I don't want anything catching on here and here because of all the pockets and the flaps and stuff. So I want to put a nice big photo mat there. So I cut another piece, and this is 8 1/4 by 8 3/4, and I added some score tape to one side. I'm going to trim the corners. And then this one here, so this is my pocket, and I want to put it over like this, and I'm going to attach it to the back. So again, this is my pocket, and I'm putting it inside here. That's on the back. So actually, you know what? I'm just going to attach it like this. All right, I have that. And then this will just fold over like this. So then when this is attached in the book now, you have a flap that will open and this will get attached down here like this. And then we flip open and then my whole page closes. So why don't we go ahead, because I know this is where this one's going, and attach this one to this binding. So let's see. Making sure I'm lined up between. Actually, I just have to take it off. It's not going to cooperate. So I'm going to line it up between my pencil dots. So then now we have this, and then that flap, and then now nothing will catch on here. And then room for photos, and then this. All right, so then now here, I want to add another flap. So I'm going to cut another piece at 8 1/4 by 8 3/4, and I'm going to put, I guess, this page. I like this one, so I'm going to add more pages again. So let me cut out another 8 1/4 by 8 3/4 piece. All right, so 8 3/4 across the top and score at a 1/2 inch. And, oops, that's what's going to go there. So let's fold. And add some tape. And then this time we'll trim. And then I'm just going to go ahead and add this one first. Sure everything is square. All right, so that one's down. So that will be a page. And now let's go to my book. So this is going to get attached here on top of this page. So I can go ahead and add some tape. So let me add tape to this one. Again, you can leave the top or the side open if you wish to add some more pockets to it. All right, so pull that up, and I'm going to put this one on. So this is what we have. This is going to go right on top. So I'm going to make sure I line everything up. So this one here, I'm lining up to the page that I want to attach it to, more so than the binding. And that's just because if I'm not even, I want to make sure it's going to line up to my page. And then now I can just remove the tape here and stick this one down. There we go. So let me just walk you through what we have so far. So we have this, room for photos. This protects this page. We still have one more to attach. I have this one here. Opens up, room for photos, more photos, and our pockets. And then this page here opens up like this, that, and then this page here. So all these flaps are protecting the pockets that have the fancy stuff, and where we are, and we're still doing good for thickness so far. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and do the same thing for this one. So I need to cut, let's see, so I need 2 more 8 1/4 by 8 3/4. Okay, hopefully I can make this one easier to understand, because now I understand what I'm doing. So I have 2 pieces, 8 1/4 by 8 3/4, and put in the scoreboard and score on the 8 3/4 inch side at 1/2 inch. So that will give you an 8 1/4 by 8 1/4 inch square. So for the first one, I'm going to add some tape. And trim my corners. And then this one, I'm going to go ahead and take my pocket. So this one here is going to be a flap for the front of this. So let's go ahead and stick that on. Oops, sticking it on me. Okay. So now this will protect that page. So I can go ahead and take my book. And this page here is going to get attached right to this binding. Again, staying in line with my pencil marks. And I'm also keeping an eye on this page down here, because this one should line up with the bottom one there. So my tape off. Oops. Get this guy stuck down. Okay. And then that folds over. Okay, and then now this one. So this guy here is going to get attached to this one now. So this here is going to go right on top, just like that. So let's get some tape on here. And turn that up. And this one right on top. Again, making sure we're all squared up. Looks good. And then now we have this here. And then this one here now is going to get attached right on top of this one, just like that. So my magnets are super strong there. So let's get some tape on here. And then this one. I'm really excited to see this book all done because it's going to be so pretty. All right, again now for this one here, get that loosened up. I'm making, so this is this with our flap, and our flap is going to get attached to here. If you ever feel you need more photo mat pages, just add more of these so you can attach it to the edge here, and then it flips inside, or whatever works best for you. So now I'm going to line this one up to my page that's already attached. And I'm just using my fingers to feel. And I'm going to hold it there. Now let's just remove this. And so now we have this part here. So I'm going to go ahead and just stick this down. And then this, and let's see where we are for space. So I think we're about good. So just be careful if you were to add more pages. Don't make sure you don't embellish them too much. I am going to do some fun stuff to the pages we just put in, but just be careful because right now you have a lot of room. But once you start adding photos and photo mats and stuff like that in the pockets ones, they're going to start adding up. All right, so let's walk through real quick. This is what we have here. And then we have our little page right here. Opens up. And then that one. And we open here for photos. So I like this better now because at first I was like thinking I had a lot of pockets and stuff and not room for photos, but right now we have lots of room for photos. So that will be really pretty. All right, so let's do some fun stuff on some of those new pages. All right, so let's play around with some of the new cards dies, and this is cards 184, and this is a slimline. So I am working with the two largest ones. So I went ahead, out of black cardstock, I cut the largest one out 3 times, and out of the smaller one, I cut it out, actually cut out 4 times, because I'm going to do a front and a back, and I'm starting to run out of paper, so I'm going to hold off on doing the backs of those. But anyway, let me show you what we're going to do with those. So I cut out 3 hinges, and those are 1.5 inches by the width of the slim line. So depending on the size you're doing, make sure you measure. And then I am going to add some tape, and we're going to make some fun little flaps with them. So let's get started with the first one. And so we're going to attach it to our page, so we need it on both sides because this is going to open. So we're going to do it on these 2 sides. So we have tape on all of those. Now we just need to trim them up a little bit. So just going to fold them and cut an angle. And this will just add to the interactive parts of the album with these little flaps. All right, and then now we're going to go ahead and take this. We're going to attach it. And did I cut them too short? They're a little short. That's okay. It don't matter. So I'm going to go ahead and attach it just like that. So see how I cut them a little short? I'm going to center them. So this will be our first one. And then let's do the next one. And there's that one. And then our last one. All right, and now let's grab our book and we're going to add them. So for here, I am actually working off of the first page. So I'm going to go ahead and this one here, I want to do on the side. So this one is going to go just like this. So center it to the space. It's almost as big as the envelope. I mean, not envelope, almost as big as the page. Okay, like that. And then over here, I wanted to do one, I'm going to turn my book because I want to do top and a bottom. So again, making sure I'm centered. I'm going to come a little closer to this end here because I don't want it to get caught up down there. And this one. And then here, so now these, they not quite touch, they almost touch, but not quite. So it'll be kind of fun. If you want to, you can always add a string closure if you wanted to make it more into a pocket, which would also be super cute. So anyway, this is how this would go, and then it closes down and they'll all stay tucked in, and they're flipping open right now. So now I'm just going to go ahead and add these pieces to there, and down here. So let me get those on. All right, so I just went ahead and added them. So this one here is a nice little fun flap, and then these two here lift up. So I'll have to go ahead and add some more there. But that's kind of fun when using those new slimline dies. You can create a fun little element without having really to do too much to measure and figure it all out. All right, so kind of cute. All right, so I went ahead and added some pattern paper, and then I also added some white photo mats because, like I said, I'm running out of paper. So we have that, and then it closes up like this, and then that's how that page goes. And then we flip over, and we have this one, and we still have stuff here to do. Anyway, that's kind of a fun way of using those new dies. So nice little flaps that they make. Super cute. All right, so I think we're actually going to move on and decorate the front cover, which is going to be very simple cover. So this is what I decided to do for my cover, and then I have my side piece right here. It's going to go right in there. So let's go ahead and put this piece on first. Oops. So I'm going to line it up. And I always like to do the covers and stuff near the end because you do move the books around a lot when you're decorating them and putting them together. So sometimes it will mess up your cover. So it's something I just like to do near the end. It's kind of like the finishing touch. Although this isn't quite finished because I've probably run out of paper. That's why I wanted to do the cover first, so I know what I have left over for scraps. All right, and then I'm going to do the side, so this goes there. It's not going to stay. So let's see. I'll turn it this way. So I'm going to line it up. It is a little harder to hold, so because of the angle it is. Alrighty. This paper is just so pretty. And there is that. Now the other thing, I don't know, let's see. So this goes like this. Then we have this right there. So I might have enough. Let's see if I got enough to finish most of that up. All right, so I went ahead and finished up my pages and stuff. And we are all set. Anyway, let me walk you through real quick what we have. So my tags are right in here. And then we have our little pop-up that we created in our first video. And this is the theater card. Super cute. And then if you open it up, you can see back here, there's room for little photos. So I made little photo mats back there. And another thing that I used, I'll show you in a minute, is one of the new Crealies Nest XXL dies, and this is 106. And this made a really fun photo mat. So I'll show you that as soon as I get up to it. So over here, we have our pocket. Opens up. We have our little pull-out photo mat right there. And this is what I did on those blank pages. So I was running out of paper, as you know. So I decided that I would just fill it up with room for photo mats and then just use my scraps to go ahead and fill in the little holes. This looks gorgeous on the camera right now. It's like super sharp. And so then this closes over this way. So this page again will protect the theater die and room for photos. And then over here we have our little twist and pop. I didn't finish decorating that, so I still have to do that, but that will take hours to cut all those little pieces. And I wanted to wrap up this video and then using the cards, and this one was number 184, the slimline. This one has the double stitch lines. We created a little flip on this side and then two that pull up, and then I just added white cardstock to those. Come over here. Again, photos, and then over here some tags, lift it up, and we have some photo mats right in there. Closes over. This is the first one, so this one is completed, which looks super pretty. To me it looks like a stained glass. It's absolutely gorgeous. And flip over. Nice room for some photos. And we continue. this part here flips up. Again, more photos. And then right here is a pocket. So this was using the new 106, the Crealies Nest XXL 106. And I made some really fun photo mats. And then you could just tuck a photo under here. But I thought that was super fun. And then I also did one that was just in pattern paper, so you could just throw a photo right on top. And then this is just a card from the collection. So you have your pocket. And then to keep it all closed, like that, and then close it down. And then this page protects this one here. And I have this. I did have to put a magnet, an extra magnet on here, because for whatever reason, I don't know why, because it works on all the others. But, oh, I guess now it's strong enough. It wasn't strong enough to keep it closed. Now it is, so. But I did throw on an extra magnet there just to help keep it closed, but I guess it's working now. And then open up here to another photo spread, and then this you can go ahead and tuck under your photos right under there. And then again over here, another one. Super cute. I love using these the ephemera pack and making the little hideaway spots where you can tuck a photo under, so it's super cute. And then we open up again, and I have more down here. And close that up. And then on this page here, I like that image, so I didn't want to cover it or cut it up, so I just added a little photo mat right here with a little tuck spot underneath, so you can just go ahead and add a photo there. And then again, room for photos. This is the last theater card on the back cover. I still do have to add my little things here, but I will get to that. And then this opens up like this. And we come over here, and then I have the pocket there, and oops, it's super long. And then my pocket here and room for photos and stuff in there. And then that closes all back up. And that's it. And then I just glued some lace to the front because I thought it was pretty. And that wraps up the Lucky Star album. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. This is quite a video. This one's going to be a little long. So I hope you enjoy it. I had a lot of fun making this. This was a lot of fun. I had taken time off from doing big projects because of the holidays. So this one was a perfect one to get back to and start creating again. Alrighty, so if you're watching this on the Crealies YouTube channel or my YouTube channel, Patty's Crafty Spot, give it a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. And until next time, guys, happy crafting. Bye.